My name is Glen Nichols. We're currently at Kustoms in Fort Worth, Texas. Kustoms is a brand that started 5 years ago. And the way it started, when I first moved here, I moved here in 2011. And I didn't ever think I'd be doing it, but I grew up around it. And so when I personally have a Chevelle, 1972 Chevelle. And once it made the cover of Rise magazine, it was like I was getting a lot of exposure about, hey man, what do you think I should do to my car? What do you think I should do here? What do you think I should do there? So I was giving them advice and they were like, so one thing led to another. And the next thing, it was like, man, why don't you open up a shop? Yeah, nah, I don't want to do that. I was a warehouse manager, so I'm like, nah. So one day it just hit me like, go ahead and do it. So I opened it up, started in a 2,000 square feet building. I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm the guy that grew up without air conditioning, without cable, and all that, So when I got stuck in the house, it was like, man, it's hot in here. Well, cut your fan on. All right, so when I go outside, I always got in trouble. And so I started liking cars when I started seeing the guys in the neighborhood with the S500 with the golden rims, with the golden rims a kid, with the white Jimmy Jeep back in the day, with a white Blazer with the gold Dayton's on it, stuff like that. It didn't motivate me, but it was like, man, I like that. I like that. Going down to my granddad's shop, I used to always, Pops, you got $20? He was like, boy, you ain't finna keep asking me for money every day. You need to come down here and learn how to do something. I go down there, I'm like, man, what I need to do? He said, come on, let me show you how to put these brakes on. And so he was showing me how to do the brakes. And then so he showed me how to make money, like working on cars. I never worked on a car before. So it's like all new to me. So I'm like, I'm probably putting something on backwards, but don't know it. Yeah. And so then it was some guys moved next door. They was like big in racing, but they was doing like custom cars, custom cars to the mile point. It wasn't to the extreme, but it was like to the mile point where you just paint interior and rims and stuff like that. And so I started hanging out over there. And so long story short, the guy there, they was like, yeah, he got a Barracuda. I'm like, what the hell is that? I said, that's an ugly ass car. Nobody want that. I said, man, I'm trying to buy a Chevelle. I said, man, I got this dunk. What y'all think? I'm gonna build this and sell it. I want to buy a Chevelle. They was like, man, you ain't finna build it. Cause I bought another car off eBay from California, but the motor was locked up in it. So I was like, well, you gotta rebuild the motor. What? So I rebuilt the motor and put the wrong compression heads on there. I didn't know nothing about the combination that the head's supposed to match the pistons. So I had a low compression head for a high compression piston, and it was about to blow up. And so I ended up selling that, and boom, got the Chevelle. It was a rust bucket. When I tell you it was a rust bucket, the dude who sold it to me for $3,500. But the motivation on the Chevelle, my friend's mama in Shady Oaks had a Chevelle, and she had a 70 396 SS, real SS car, and she sold it. And then I didn't know what she had until she sold it. And then another guy in the neighborhood came with a Chevelle, and that just messed me up. I gotta have a Chevelle. I stayed in, like, what did you call it, poverty. So the people that influenced me was more of the neighborhood heroes. So the cars they had was always, they influenced me to the point where I stayed grounded staying outside. And so by me going outside getting grounded, I came to magazines. That's when magazines was bad. So that's what got me more detail oriented. I paid attention to lowrider magazines, hot rod magazines. I paid attention to all the magazines that was out there, Motor Trends, all that. And so just knowing your car is nice, but in my head, I'm like, well, I think if you do this, it'll look way better. Or me bringing more ideas to your car that you already know that's clean. And you like, man, who is this dude? Man, ain't nobody listening to him. But you influencing me because I'm like, man, this car is nice, but I think if you do this, it'll be way better. And then, so I was like, you know what, nobody want to listen to me. I know what to do. I built my own Chevelle. And then when I built it, went on the magazine, went to SEMA. It was like, wow. I put on my agenda to go to the Rick Ross Car Show because I didn't make it last year. I wanted to make it, but I was like, I could have made it, but it was like, do you show your hand halfway, or do you go out there and show your hand for real? So by me knowing the reward, I knew what to do to prepare for it. And so when I went there, I set up, put it on jack stands, and rolled the carpet out. I was telling everybody it was alpaca, but it's carpet. So my display, the borders, it's real. It's like real hardwood floors. A cabinet company made it. They had lights in them, but I didn't use the lights. But it was a nice setup. So if I lost, I can accept my loss. I just wanted to see who I lost to. But nobody set up like I did, but the lowriders. And so when I seen that, it was like, I might be on to something. But then there was another guy beside me, had a 57 Chevy convertible. When I tell you this car was nice, it was nice. And then he was like, man, look under the bottom. And I was like, I looked under the bottom and I was like, whoa. I said, man, you got a roaster shop chassis and everything. I was like, why you not showing it? He was like, I ain't have any mirrors. I had 4 mirrors. And this decision that almost cost me the show. I took 2 of my mirrors and gave them to him, so he can show the bottom of his car. Because at that point I was like, man, I don't care if I win or not, but at least he get to show the bottom of his car. So I gave him 2 mirrors. And when the judges come around, I'm not the person that's gonna sit at my car at a car show. No car show. I'm a park or set up and I'm gone. I'm not gonna sit there to answer questions. I hate that I'm like that. I like to go look at other people's cars. So the judges came, and one of my friends that went with me, he was like, man, the judge over here looking at your car, and he said it's too much trouble to look up under the bottom. I said, just move the mirror. He said, no. He said, why you don't have mirrors on the side? I said, well, I gave them to the dude next door. He told the judge, he said, well, he gave the mirrors to the guy right here. He said, well, who trying to get the key, him or him? And I said, oh, man. I said, if he gonna play that game, man, just tell him to give it to who he want to give it to. And so he was like, all right. And then, so long story short, later on award time, I got the key. '69 Camaro, full frame off, every nut and bolt, I touched a lot of stuff that I never know I had to touch before. I did a lot of things that I never think I'd do before. I went with the carbon fiber full bumper. We flush mounted it. It was like 3-inch gap in it. We flush mounted that. The custom grille, we took time to paint the grille. And man, it's just so much. The Speed Tech chassis, Strange rear end, the third member is polished. Man, where you want me to start? The G Custom brakes with my name in them. Found the plaid, teal plaid, went with that, and I was like, you know what? I want to run with that. And so I ran with it to an extent where it wasn't too much. It was just a tad bit. The custom teal piece, teal is my signature. If you see anything teal, is mine. I'm always put teal on anything. So I did the tail light panel teal with the teal stripe. But most importantly, this is gonna shock you. I never painted before in my life, and I painted that car. I painted that car myself 3 weeks before Rick Ross show. And everybody was like, man, no way you painted it. And I was like, oh, I painted it. I had a painter that was I outsource paint, but not outsource it, but the painter comes in and he paints for me. And so that's how it works. I found it better to not have a painter on the payroll because he only likes to paint. So when something's ready, I pay him to come paint. And so he'll be here Friday. Okay, cool. Friday come, he don't come. Saturday come, he don't come. Monday come, he don't come. I tell you what, I'm gonna paint it. They were like, what? I said, I'm gonna paint it. Came in the next day, went at it. And I was like, man. So I'm calling all my friends back home. All them have shops. They've been having shops for years. Like, man, what does this mean? Why is it doing? You moving too fast, slow down. All right, well, I'm gonna wet sand that off and I'm gonna come back. I come back, the clear laid, no runs on the car. I learned how to set the pattern, all that. So it was like, wow. That was the wow factor to me of the car. I painted it, I painted the stripe. Mike taped the stripe off. I painted it, come back. re-cleared the whole car, buried the stripe, and it was like Dan cut it. In the killing part, I buffed it. I ain't never buffed before. Yeah, it was a gold key, diamonds. I mean, I don't wear jewelry, obviously, but I mean, to just get it, you know, was like a big honor. It was a big honor. Like, it feel like I just won the Riddler Award, you know. I know a lot of people don't know what that means, but that's like a big honor. And so to only have it, and only to be among a select few to have it for like a vehicle or a bike or whatever, you know, it's like that's like the next thing. Going from here, I think I want to, I hate to say it, but I want to pass the key to somebody else, like in here, that I really trust and been with me from day one, and watch them do it. But I want to be a part of it as to the point where I build cars and sell them, because the market is where people don't want to wait on shops to build cars anymore. They want to buy something I got a 69 Camaro, I can paint it, throw an LS in it, Detroit subframe, 4-link in the back, ready to go. And I don't think it's an award I can receive that makes me feel like I'm better than this person or better than that person. I never feel like that, because I know where, it's not hard to go back where I come from. So long story short, that's why I'm always like, you know, I'd rather be more humble, because I can really talk it if I wanted to talk it. I just don't feel the need, you know. You'll see it, you'll see it. Like when I go to the car show, I'm not gonna say, hey, you see this? You see that? If you don't see it, you don't see it. It wasn't meant for you to see it. I mean, but the ones that see it know, you know. It's like they say, Louis Vuitton, the people who wear the logos all over, they want you to know they got it. But the ones who just wear it with the logo on the bottom, they don't care. It's the details, you know. If you know, you know.